All right, let's get into something that people have been curious about for centuries. Just how deep is the vagina really? And here's a wild fact. Ancient Chinese matchmakers apparently had this down to a kind of science. They supposedly could look at a young man and woman from across the room and somehow predict not only what her vaginal shape and depth might be, but also what his size would likely be too. Talk about matchmaking precision. Their goal was to prevent what's called a sexual size mismatch, basically making sure that both partners were, let's say, in sync. Now that sounds fascinating, right? I'm Dr. Megan Bennett, men's sexual health expert. Today we're going to explore the real science behind vaginal depth and width, how it compares to the average penis size, and the amazing ways the vagina adapts during arousal. We'll also touch on those ancient beliefs from the Dao of Sexology, where facial features were said to reveal hidden secrets about sexual compatibility. Some of it sounds wild, but surprisingly, parts of it still make you think. So let's dive deep, yes, pun intended, into this topic. Menopause. Sex. Point 5. Vaginal depth and adaptability. Let's start with the numbers, because science always helps clear things up. On average, an erect penis measures about 5.1 inches in length and roughly 4.9 inches in circumference. Meanwhile, the average vaginal canal is about 3 to 4 inches deep when unaroused. But here's where the magic happens. Once arousal kicks in, the vagina elongates and expands, often reaching 5 to 7 inches in depth. That's part of the body's natural sexual response cycle, a kind of built-in adaptability mechanism. So despite what people might think, the body is actually designed for compatibility in most cases. Nature already planned for things to fit. Now, the vagina isn't just about depth. It's incredibly elastic. That means it can stretch in both length and width, then return to its normal state after sex, childbirth, or anything else that might expand it temporarily. This elasticity is what allows the vagina to accommodate all sorts of sizes, from small to large, and still feel snug and responsive. It's also the reason for that snatch and grab sensation during sex. Elasticity plays a huge role not only in sexual pleasure, but also in childbirth and overall sexual health. From an evolutionary perspective, this adaptability makes perfect sense. Metasex 0.5. The evolutionary story. Let's rewind way back to our caveman ancestors. Monogamy wasn't really a thing back then, and scientists believe that the shape of the human penis actually evolved because of this competition. Originally, our ancestors' penises were shaped more like straight plungers, no ridge, no flare. But as competition for fertilization increased, something interesting happened. Males evolved penises with a mushroom-shaped head and a noticeable ridge, what we call the corona. Now here's the theory. During intercourse, that ridge might have helped scoop out sperm from previous males, essentially giving the current partner a better chance at fathering a child. Yeah, sounds a bit primal, but evolution is all about reproductive success, not romance. So the shape of the penis isn't just random. It has an evolutionary purpose. It's designed for efficiency and, in a way, competitiveness. Meanwhile, the vaginal canal evolved its elasticity to complement that. Instead of resisting, it adapted to fit and adjust, ensuring that sexual activity remained possible and pleasurable across a wide range of sizes. Menopause Sex 0.5. A study in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that vaginal dimensions vary widely between individuals. But what truly matters is elasticity, not size. Elasticity bridges those differences between partners. That's why biologically, a smaller vagina can still comfortably accommodate a much larger penis and vice versa. It's all about flexibility. So when you hear myths about people being too small or too big, remember that nature has this handled. Your body is far more adaptable than people give it credit for. Menopause Sex 0.5. Now let's get into what actually happens during arousal because this part is fascinating. During the arousal phase, the vaginal canal undergoes major changes. Blood rushes to the area. The walls of the vagina become engorged and the canal elongates and moistens. This isn't just about lubrication. It's about preparation. The body is literally transforming to enhance pleasure and prevent discomfort. The vulva also plays a key role here. Increased blood flow causes the labia majora, the outer lips, and the clitoris to swell, increasing sensitivity and pleasure. It's actually the same biological process as a male erection, just in a different form. All of these systems, the brain, the skin, the nerves, the vulva, the vaginal canal, they work together to create a synchronized, pleasurable experience. And that's why rushing things can sometimes backfire. If a partner isn't fully aroused before penetration, it can lead to discomfort or even pain. Taking the time to build arousal isn't just romantic. It's literally how the body is designed to work. Menopause Sex 0.5. Now let's shift gears a little. The Dao of Sexology, an ancient Chinese practice, took a completely different approach to understanding sexual compatibility. According to its philosophy, everything in the universe is about balance, including sexual energy. Practitioners believed they could predict a woman's vaginal characteristics like depth, tightness, and even moisture levels based on her facial features. Yep, they claimed to be able to tell everything just by looking at someone's face. The size of the nose, the fullness of the lips, even the shape of the eyes were thought to reveal hidden clues. Here's what those ancient matchmakers believed. Women with small mouths and short fingers supposedly had shorter and narrower vaginas. Those with fuller lips were said to have wider, more elastic vaginas. Women with deep-set eyes or thin eyelids were thought to have deeper vaginal canals, and women with large, round eyes and thicker eyelids were believed to have shorter ones. Then there were the so-called widow's bones, high, prominent cheekbones. Women with those were said to have deeper vaginas and a stronger sex drive, sometimes even described as overwhelming to their partners. Now, before you start analyzing your reflection, remember, this isn't modern science, but it's an interesting glimpse into how people once tried to understand sexual compatibility. Even though the Taoist methods weren't evidence-based, they remind us that humans have always been fascinated by how attraction and anatomy connect. It's also a fun reminder that physical compatibility has always mattered, even thousands of years ago. Menopause Sex 0.5. Imagine those ancient matchmakers studying faces and hands to pair people together. In a way, they were like the first dating algorithms. Instead of swiping left or right, they were just observing facial symmetry and lip fullness. They aimed to create harmony, to ensure that couples would be both emotionally and physically compatible. Of course, we know today that attraction and compatibility go way beyond just physical features. But still, the parallels are interesting. Whether it's ancient face reading or modern dating apps, the goal hasn't really changed. People just want to find the right match, and maybe that's why this topic continues to fascinate people, because it combines both science and mystery. Menopause Sex 0.5. So now you know. The vagina isn't some static structure with a fixed depth. It's a living, responsive, adaptable organ designed for pleasure, connection, and even childbirth. The ancient Chinese may not have had modern science, but they definitely understood one universal truth: that connection and real compatibility are about more than just size or shape. It's about balance, understanding, and communication. So, next time someone brings up the topic of size, remember, nature already thought this through. Your body knows what it's doing.